Yo, it was good. So, got a quick weekly recap today. Took 4 trades, I believe. Just gonna go over the past week and see what I did and why is this? Okay, yeah. So yeah, 4 trades, 2 losses, 2 wins. Ended the week in green though, which is decent, but I feel like there's things to learn about this week. So the week started a bit rough because Monday I didn't take any trades, but then Tuesday I took 2 trades, which is something I don't usually do. Ended up break even on the day, but I kind of messed with my mental a little bit because I really wanted to end that day in like in a winning position, like just end up the day in green, because I expected that with 2 trades I would be able to at least win one of them and then end up in a profit, but I was wrong, and that kind of caused me to have a bit of like a bad mentality going into the next day, and the next couple of days. So I was kind of like in the mood of wanting to take a trade, wanting to make more percentage, and I took another trade after that, like, on the next day, on Wednesday, I believe, and that trade was like a good trade, but taking another loss kind of made me feel even a bit more worse about myself. I was down 1% on the week, and then the following days I was kind of in the mood of being like, yo, I need to take a trade. Yo, I need to end the week in green. Yo, I need to take a trade. I need to get break even at least. I don't want to end up the week in red. So that's kind of where my mind was at this week. Not really the best way to think about it, but yeah, the main way to prevent this is just to go into the markets being an observer, not expecting to take anything, not looking to trade, just being observant. And the other thing with that, I was like being like not that objective with the like going into the charts. I would be like kind of married to my bias. I would expect that what I want to see would play out. When this is not the case, because bro, anything can happen in the market. It's got to be objective. Can't really have a specific expectation on what will happen. So yeah, that's kind of like where my mind was at. Yeah, so for the technical aspect, I ideally don't want to enter when there's a 5 minute fair value gap or just any fair value gap. Like, I don't know if this is like a really big thing, but like I feel like fair value gaps have been respecting more. And a lot of people have been commenting on my YouTube that I'm like kind of overreacting, and that 5 minute fair value gaps, 5 minute inverse fair value gaps isn't that deep. So maybe it's not really that like serious. Also, another thing is I almost entered like right when a orange folder came out, and like that would have stopped me out immediately. So got to be more weary about that. So yeah, made about 1% gain on the day. I mean on the week. Like I'm happy that I ended the week in green, but it's just I feel like I shouldn't have been like as emotional as I was, because I feel like I was overreacting about some stuff. But yeah, the first of 4 trades was this trade here. This is actually a winner. There are some improvements. Looking back at it, I could have kept a longer take profit, like a TP that was farther, and then that wouldn't have stopped me out of break even here. And then the move actually kept on going lower and would have hit final take profit, but I got stopped out of break even right around here. But what happened was that we like right before market open, maybe like 20 minutes before market open, we took out the Asian high. We didn't have a London high that was like this here, so it already got taken out like before. But anyways, what I was trying to say is the Asian high was taken out, looking for confirmation to the downside, break of structure, or 5 minute inverse fair value gap. Now we do break structure right here, but ideally you want to wait for like 10, like 15, 20 minutes into market open, or I mean 10, 15 minutes into market open to let it like develop properly. So didn't enter off this, waited for this fair value gap to get inverted, and also looking for equilibrium. This was not the correct equilibrium. Now I didn't like properly look for continuation, and that's kind of where I messed up on this trade. Now looking like, because I usually go back on the week and look at past opportunities and what I missed, this would have been a good trade for like 15 minute equilibrium. That would have been a better confluence to enter off of, and then enter off a 1 minute confirmation to the downside. That would have been more ideal, would have given me a little bit of better entry. But yeah, stop loss above the interaction or like the take on liquidity. And then TP1 was ideally this 15 minute low down here. But we kept on like respecting this 5 minute fair value gap. Like we could not push below or close below. And it was like getting quite annoying. We came back again. And then we finally came back, hit take profit. And then I took partials there because I just didn't want it was taking quite a bit of time, and I think that comes a little bit from impatience. Maybe I should have been more patient, but 6 hours in a trade and not hitting take profit or stop loss was kind of getting to my head. So that is something to know. Got to be more patient with these trades, especially because it's Forex and it's slow. That's why I'm thinking like, yo, should I just switch to NQ and ES? I don't really know, but yeah, after getting stopped out of TP, getting stopped out of break even, continued lower. Ended up hitting the final take profit, which was the London low, which is like way below here. But yeah, this is honestly a good trade. It's just it's quite slow. We're just consolidating quite a bit, which is a bit annoying, but I should have been more patient now that I realize. But yeah, now this is the next trade. This is on the same day. shortly after the GBP USD trade was taken. Because I was so married to my bias of us going short, like everything looked good. Like the thing with this trade is that we almost hit it and then we just got edged, right? So kind of like messed with my thing and I was messed with my mental, and I was like, bro, like we got to hit this, we got to hit this. And that kind of caused me to enter on the Euro USD as well. We took out the Asian highs similar to how GBP USD did. And then we confirmed 5-minute bearish. Like around here, we had a 5-minute break of structure, but we did have these two massive 5-minute fair value gaps here, which I was not so keen about. So what I was doing was just waiting for these to get inverse and then find a better entry with a retracement or something like that. So ended up coming into 15-minute equilibrium and then confirming bearish with, entered off a 1-minute inverse fair value gap, got filled in right here. And got stopped out. This didn't work out that well. Surprisingly that it didn't, because this was a second entry and I don't usually look for second entries on the day. Ideally, I would be stopped out by the first trade if I was looking for another entry, but I was in 2 trades at the same time. So that was kind of like greed talking, kind of just wanting the dopamine of entering. And that's what kind of caused me to enter this trade, and it ended up being a loss. So I got to make sure I got to make sure I'm like, I just got to make sure like to be more aware of what thoughts my brain is going through, like what emotions I'm feeling, and just work on the idea of being more mindful of them. So the next trade was this trade. This was also an L. This was actually like kind of really annoying. This is a 1-minute chart, but what we did was that we took out the absolute Asian high, I believe. Actually, no, absolute London high. Then we have a 5-minute break of structure and 5-minute inverse for value gap to the downside. Now, waiting for a better entry because ideally don't want to enter all the way down here. So wait for a retracement. I believe this is 5-minute equilibrium. I haven't looked over Euro USD yet, so I get to that like later in the day. But yeah, retrace into this fair value gap that we formed, and then inverse fair value gap, break of structure to the downside, enter short off of this, and we have a big move to the downside. Now with this, I was like, yo, we're about to hit take profit. I'm feeling confident about this. This looks really good. But what is this? A 5-minute fair value gap. Boom, we bounce off of this 5-minute fair value gap, bounce off of it again here, and then it gets stopped out. So this was this kind of like made me a bit mad. Made me like rethink what like entering, like losing confidence, feeling worse about myself. And it just made me think, like I feel like I was over exaggerating the idea of like fair value gaps and how they're getting respected, but I feel like this is like pretty decent proof, because there's been previous instances where this happened, especially in like the more recent trades. Like fair value gaps have been like being respected like quite nicely. Didn't get stopped out here, but got stopped out here. So seeing it come back again to the same spot and then just reversing, that really made me feel bad. So yeah. Now the next trade, I don't have it on the screenshot yet, but it was Euro USD. It was this trade. This was honestly pretty good. I'm happy about this one, but didn't like, I don't know. It's just, but I don't even know. So the 1 hour was 4 hour was bullish coming into market open, closing above this high. 1 hour was bearish though, closing below this low. But again, I mean, like we were bearish, like we were bullish at market open, but then after the 6 a.m. candle closed, we were bearish. So what I was looking for on the 30-minute was London lows and maybe even Asian lows to get taken, and both of them did actually end up getting taken, which I really liked. We took out the London lows right before NY open, and then we moved down to the Asian lows. There was news at 6:30, red folder news at 6:30, so I was waiting for that. That was this candle here. We had a 5-minute fair value gap here, which I was looking to get inverse because break of structure would have been all the way up here. So break structure to the upside, inverse fair value up to the upside. Now at this point, seeing all of these wicks to the upside, I was getting scared that like, price is going to push way past my ideal entry point. And that's exactly what happened. We pushed right past, and then I hesitated. I didn't enter. Not really hesitate. I kind of like, because I knew that I didn't want to enter here, but I was like getting emotions like, I'm going to miss out. Like I've been waiting for this for so long. I was getting impatient. I was just getting all these emotions, and I was thinking of entering. And then when I saw price go all the way up here, and I was like, bro, I really just missed my entry. I should have entered. But I almost did enter off of like emotion, but I realized like, I'm better than this, bro. Like if I don't make a change, I'm not going to like become any better, stuff like that, like all that. Cringed it, but ended up retracing into 5-minute equilibrium. Boom, 5-minute fair value gap. This got inversed, however, so not really that much of a confluence. But retrace into 5-minute equilibrium, 1 minute fair value gaps down here, and just looking for confirmation on the 1 minute to the upside, because we were bearish on the 1 minute, but everything else was bullish. So enter off this inversion of the 1 minute gap, get filled in. I don't know why. So get filled in right over here, and TP1 was at a 1.3R, 1.3R. It was a 15-minute high, I believe. That got hit, and then I had next one at the London high, like that relative, and then absolute high, and then had a 4-hour high down here. And because all those got hit pretty quickly, I had a runner all the way up here. Wait, no, all the way up here. But that didn't end up getting hit because, it was Friday and it was the last day of the month. So it was kind of getting slow, but ended up closing right here. So around the same place that I took my last profit. So yeah, pretty good. I felt like not satisfied, but I felt like kind of proud that I was able to follow my plan and be patient and not enter off of emotion or enter off of like impatience or FOMO, which was pretty good. But yeah, ended up the week in green, but just gotta slowly keep on making progress. Can't be too fixated on the percentage. Can't be too fixated on the losses. Just gotta like be more carefree, So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I'll see you tomorrow because today is Sunday. I didn't get to record this yesterday, but